Hey there, I'm Dagny Zenovia. Let's talk about the historical, monumental Instagram Live battle between Teddy Riley and Babyface. It's just another sad love song back in my brain. Ding, 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 ding. I want to know your name. Hey, hey, I bet you remember. I bet you remember. The one between Teddy Riley and Babyface was like the most anticipated battle of all pandemic era time. The first attempt at it was historical in itself, okay? About 500,000 of us got ready and everything, dressed up and everything to watch this battle go down. And what ended up happening was Babyface himself was in his house, in his home studio, and Teddy Riley had a whole production team and screens and a band and a DJ at his house. And sound was off, or there was an echo, or there was technical difficulties on their end. And so it had to be canceled, as well as rescheduled for 2 days later, which was the following. The first one was going to be Saturday night. They scheduled it for the following Monday night. During Saturday night, Black Twitter, of course, showed up and showed out to joke, throw shade, and drag the entire thing, led by some prominent figures, public figures such as Toni Braxton. It was such a fun experience, even though, yes, what we prepared for did not actually happen on Saturday night, right? But watching the back and forth and the shade and the GIFs and the jokes and stuff made it just as enjoyable, actually. Sunday comes and people start sharing like the actual video feed of what Teddy Riley was trying to do. Because initially he was saying the battle should be happening on his live stream platform. And people were like, no, because there was some back and forth of rumors about it was going to be like a some pay-per-view or something. And of course, everyone's like, all we're doing is just sitting around at home wanting to watch Instagram Live. Why would you make this something that you now have to pay? But when you see the footage of what Teddy Riley was doing on his platform, because he was streaming from both. He was streaming on Instagram and streaming on his own platform. And the one on his own platform was crystal clear. It had multiple camera angles, and you could also interact in real time. As in, it was a much better experience than what you would get at the moment with Instagram Live. But the 500,000 people were on Instagram Live, not on his platform. So Monday night comes, around the same amount of people, 500,000 come again, you know, and they actually do the hour and a half, almost 2 hour long battle back and forth. And when I say battle, it's like you're playing your songs and giving, you know, tidbit fun fact about who was in the song or just other celebrities during that time. Of course, they were throwing shade back and forth as well, which was really cool. To me, it also got me thinking about this whole interactive experience, interactive media, as well as Black entertainment. Because throughout all of that, of course, there were outlets like, I don't know, CNN and other places who then posted the day after, oh, you know, the battle was a flop. It was a failure and stuff like that. And of course, people were tweeting like, who invited them to the cookout? Like, this is family business. What you doing? What you doing? How, like, time and time again, and how Black culture is so easily accessible and at the same time easily taken and sold back to the people who created it without giving them credit. Teddy Riley was onto something in that he wanted this to be something very special, and he wanted to be something that is like in our own backyard as opposed to in the public square, if that makes sense. Instagram Live was not created for concerts or DJ sets or celebrities to be showcasing music and film and stuff like that, all right? So it's funny that we're already kind of pushing at a barrier that I'm sure Instagram and Facebook are trying to figure out, whoa, like, okay, so how are we going to update this and how are we going to make money off of it? So live streaming of all kinds is going to be the new wave for everyone, from entertainment to education to services, etc. I'm all about the culture. It got me thinking, could we possibly be ahead of the 8th ball on this, to make sure we also maintain ownership of that culture? Teddy Riley and Babyface match was like one of the big ones because they are like on legendary icon status because of how much of an impact they've made on R&B music and Black music as a whole. Within a certain era, they basically defined a certain era of music with everything that they produced. So it was awesome to not only like experience and listen to that music, but then also be like the artists that they worked with in that era were also in the chat, also on Twitter talking about memories and stuff too. So it just made it feel like, wow, we're just all out here, you know, having a kickback in the backyard. Even though technically it's actually 500,000 people from, you know, all over the world with very different sizes backyard. Overall, the whole thing was fun. I think overall also it was very telling. Like there's so many aspects of it you can dive further into, you know, that I hope are being archived. Like I feel like eventually there does need to be some sort of virtual museum to showcase the most popular tweets during this thing, and you know, behind the scenes of what actually happened, you know, that Babyface and Teddy Riley thought, and what actually happened that Timbaland and Swiss Beats thought, because they were the ones who were actually hosting it. Well, that's my take or musings over the Teddy Riley versus Babyface Instagram live battle. Make sure you go to dagnyzenovia.com, my website, where the blog post will further elaborate on my take on this whole live streaming era we're now like pushing further into. And some of the thoughts that I have on, more thoughts on how we can maintain ownership as well as protection for the culture with this whole live streaming trend that we basically have created. The trend, basically, established as a trend. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you are keeping safe. I'll see you next time.